If you want to control your PlayStation 5, it comes with this standard PS5 controller. Like most of today's controllers, it's kind of shaped like that UFO people thought they saw over Phoenix like 25 years ago. If you want to control your Super Nintendo, that controller looks like this. Well, hopefully not like this. I guess I spilled coffee or soup all over this a long time ago and never noticed. I'll clean this up the next time we play F-Zero together, okay? And check out this thing. It's called a Playdate, and it's got a little crank right here so you can play Recommendation Dog. That's the game where you take on the role of a dog who hires people for jobs. Most people play games that simulate murder, but I don't know, I kind of like pretending I'm a puppy that runs an employment office. Now, I'm not showing you these things because I'm proud of my meager gaming collection. Since the days of Atari, there have been all sorts of ways to interact with video game consoles. The Atari 2600 had a joystick, the Wii had that little white remote, Dreamcast even had a microphone to control this disgusting human fish. And over the years, from the Power Glove to a fishing rod, game makers have dreamt up innovative, ergonomic, and bizarre ways to control games. But not everyone has been free to take advantage of a simulated running track, or even a traditional controller covered in a fine brown liquid. I don't know what that is. Oh my God. If there's no video tomorrow, it's because I'm dead from licking this thing. Anyway, when it comes to people with disabilities, maneuvering a controller can be difficult or even impossible when faced with a limb difference or limited mobility. That's not to say attempts haven't been made in the past to accommodate these players. The Museum of Play shows off this NES hands-free controller from the 80s, which IGN says allowed users to play without the use of hands by using a chin-fitted joystick and a sip and puff method to control the A and B buttons. But that was to control an NES, which had like 5 buttons total. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. Yes, I said 4 different buttons here, but the D-pad is really just 1, plus the select, it's 5. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, today's controllers have all sorts of buttons, including this thing and this thing, the create button, which I don't use because nobody needs to watch a boring screen recording of me hauling around old wine bottles in Death Stranding, a game that really encapsulates what it would be like to be a bleakly futuristic pizza guy. But no matter your game of choice, from Battle Royale to Chores, Sony now has a new controller that can accommodate more players than ever before.
It's probably the greatest gift that I've been given in a long time. The reason being is my fingerprint, and along with everyone else who's part of this, our fingerprints are all over this.
That's just one disability consultant who helped Sony bring this new device to life. The Access controller. It's a far cry from one of these things. Instead, it's a highly configurable piece of tech that can be set up in all sorts of different ways.
First of all, you don't have to hold the control to use it. It's designed to lay flat on a table, a wheelchair tray, on a lap board. It can be mounted with a lot of different mounting options, tripods, for example.
That's a senior technical program manager with the PlayStation, who notes that everything on the Access controller can be switched around depending on what the user needs.
It's a controller kit, so there's lots of different button caps in different sizes and shapes and textures that you can freeform experiment and physically reconfigure the controller. All the buttons are organized on a single plane, like a keyboard, so there's nothing hidden or on a different plane.
This controller comes with dozens of configurable pieces and can even be paired together with a second controller.
So the thumbsticks, you can, if you use 2 Access controllers, for example, with the collaborative use feature, you can separate the thumbsticks as far apart as close together, different levels, different heights, just way more repositionability of the thumbsticks.
Here's another accessibility consultant who worked with PlayStation showing off how he's using a customized Access controller.
The button sizes are really huge. I game with the side of my hands, and my hands are pretty big. So me being able to space out the buttons, I'll be able to press the buttons in a way where I'm not hitting 2 buttons at a time.
Now this might just sound like a video game controller to you, the type of thing where I don't even bother to wipe the coffee off of it or whatever the substance is, but a device like this Access controller makes it easier for people with certain disabilities to enjoy a video game, something that's pretty easy to take for granted.
The more you take away from us, the more isolated we become. Having gaming and having an opportunity to game at a very high level, to be able to do it again, is like a reunion that I lost a close companion, and being able to reunite it with that person again.
Sony claims disabled gamers have been helping develop this controller since 2018, and they're not the only gaming company with something similar on the market. Back in 2018, Xbox introduced its configurable adaptive controller to carry out all sorts of customizable options for gamers' limited mobility. As noted by this games industry website, a survey found that around 1 in 5 players of casual video games has a physical, mental, or developmental disability. And 94% of disabled players of casual games believes that playing games provides them with physical or mental benefits. Of course, adaptable controllers are just one way to make gaming more accessible. GameAccessibilityGuidelines.com, a living document maintained by academics, accessibility experts, and designers in the gaming industry, offers up developers checklists to make sure their games can accommodate players with cognitive, vision, hearing, and motor impairments, among others. That site states that games are entertainment, culture, socializing. Things that mean the difference between existence and living. And this Access controller, which is available for pre-order now and becomes available on December 6th, gives players who may not be able to use a traditional controller a path back into the gaming community.
And it just allows me to do self-therapy, right? It's one of those things that gives me the ability to feel like, hey, I'm still me.